Hi guys, 10 things that sucked about being a Jehovah's Witness. Do you remember? I could think of 100 things that sucked, but courtesy of the very, very good ex-Jehovah's Witness Marcus Escritos, who wrote a blog piece on 10 things that sucked, I wanted to read his list and give you my own 2 pence as well. 2 cents, I should say. Most of my viewers are in America, so I should say 2 cents. Or Canada, thanks guys. Number one. No birthdays, Christmas, or any other holidays. Well, I was born a Jehovah's Witness, as were many of you. So I didn't really think I was missing that much. And I was well indoctrinated to think that all those were pagan celebrations. But what I realise now as an adult is that I wasn't missing toys or stuff like that, because my parents were good people. They made up for that kind of stuff later on in the year. What I was missing was the chance to make relationships, the chance to understand how the world works, the chance to give gifts as well. Okay. The chance to have decent friendships in my school. All gone. All stolen. Number two, never being able to talk honestly with a friend. Can you imagine, anyone who's not a Jehovah's Witness watching this, that if you were to go up to your parents and tell them that you'd done something, I'm not talking about something big like murder, I'm talking about something small. You smoked, you tried drugs, well, cigarettes are drugs, you got drunk, you slept with a girl, that the first thing that they would do would be to report you to the police and have you punished. Well, of course not. Parents don't do that. Parents love their kids unconditionally and they want the best for them. Okay? But in the Jehovah's Witness arrangement, you are not just encouraged, but it is demanded of you that you report on people, that you tell on yourself and others. That means that it doesn't matter who you're talking to, there is always the fear that person will then go to the elders and get you in trouble, okay? And bear in mind, the trouble is not wrapped knuckles. It's not getting told off. It's the destruction of your family. It's the end of your career. It's the being kicked out of your home if you're a child, losing your children, losing your parents, losing your grandparents, grandchildren. Huge consequences from simple things. You're never able to talk honestly with anyone. True. Number three, having to go on the door-to-door ministry every Saturday and sometimes Sundays as well. I do remember that. I remember staying up after the Sunday meeting and we would do our little thing and then boom, out we go on service. But you see, that Sunday was good because you got the Sunday out. A lot of people were gone. And not only that, you got to count 2 hours almost, right? So if you did that twice a month, you were getting a decent report for a kid. I remember this very well. I remember the service. I remember my first experience on the service, which was when I spoke to an elder in my congregation called Graham Catney. And he said, well, Neil, I believe you want to go out on the service. And I was about 9 years old. And I said, yes, please, Graham. And he said, here's some magazines. Start there. And walked off and left me on my own. And my first presentation ever was, do you want to buy these magazines? To which he said, no. Of course he did, because he was smarter than we were. Good Lord. Having to fill out field service reports. Now I know what you're saying, Jehovah's Witnesses. It's just bookkeeping. They're just trying to keep in order. God loves order. That's what they always said. Remember? That was always the excuse to follow new rules. God loves order. If God needed order, if God needed to just do some bookkeeping, why would you need to put your name on it? Funny that, isn't it? It's not about keeping order, guys. It's about keeping you under control. Ugh, horrid. As I've said before though, Graham Catney, same guy who taught me how to do the doors, also used to fake the hours for the entire congregation. Number 5, guys, not being able to date. No one would have dated me anyway, so I don't know what to tell you there. But yes, the ability to go out and meet girls meet boys, have some kind of decent normal life, it's crucial, and it's stolen from you as a Jehovah's Witness because they hate the idea of you giving any of your attention away from them, okay? It's despicable and cowardly, and don't fall for it. Number 6, no sex before marriage. Now this is difficult because lots of churches teach no sex before marriage, but very few people follow it, okay? And if we're all being honest here, except for the Jehovah's Witnesses, even most of the Jehovah's Witnesses, I would say, haven't followed it either, okay? It's important. I appreciate that lots of churches say no, but let's be honest, lots of churches say lots of things. If the worshippers of Baal were still in existence, would we respect their teaching to throw the firstborn into the fire? I don't think so. I hope you wouldn't either. To know that you're compatible with your partner is very important, okay? I can't say much more about that. If you're gay, that's not going to even apply to you either, because you're doomed, as the man here says, to a lifetime of abstinence and loneliness. All about the love in the Jehovah's Witness. Number 7, not being able to have non-witness friends. That's right, because they're worldly people. They're lesser than, they're not good enough. They're poor associations who will spoil your youthful habits. I wanted friends. Everyone wants friends. You want to be normal, but you're not normal. You are damaged goods as a Jehovah's Witness. And to be honest with you, I'm nearly 41 years old, and I still find it intensely difficult to make friendships. And a lot of that I put down to being quite damaged as to how I interact with people. Okay, number 8, and this is a famous one. Keeping up with the ever-changing, made-up doctrine of the Jehovah's Witnesses. When I was first a witness, same as young Marcus has screed us here, blood was not allowed in any form, okay? And we constantly worried about blood sausage and about properly bled meats and all these tiny things. Then as new light came on, white blood cells were fine, platelets were fine. On and on it went, until it seems to me now as an outsider that if a doctor was to separate all the blood components and put them in individually in different IVs, and they together collectively made up blood, you'd probably get away with it. But the new light didn't end there. Do you remember studying the Revelation book? Do you remember having to put in the new understandings and stick them into your book? Oh my God, it was like art attack. It was ridiculous. Looking like a jerk when someone sneezes because you weren't allowed to say God bless you. That never bothered me too much. But again, it was the Jehovah's Witness obsession with pagan origins. Everything had a pagan origin, and if it did, it was completely gone. Never mind that both my wedding and engagement ring have pagan origins, but that was somehow okay. But watch, in the future they'll say, we don't like that anymore. Just let us store your gold for you. The constant feeling of being watched. I have made videos about this before. The constant feeling of being watched is ever present. I remember as a child walking back from the library with books, and if the books weren't completely acceptable to the Jehovah's Witnesses, say they were science fiction based or anything, I hid them in my coat in the hope that no one would see them. If you were going somewhere, if you were spending the day out with your family, let's hope we don't see anybody. We wouldn't want them to stumble someone. We wouldn't want it to get back to the brothers that we weren't going on the ministry today, that we didn't go to the first hour of the assembly, that we didn't make the meeting because we had something else on. The constant feeling that you were under observation never leaves you. As Marcus well says, Jehovah's Witnesses have no concept of privacy, and they view secrets they find out about other Jehovah's Witnesses as a sort of gift from God. This is true, so true. He says here, and this is a brilliant point, the elders once told me that I had negatively influenced my former housemate. The reason? He'd worked at Blockbuster Video, and he had searched my records to snoop on the videos I'd been watching. He decided so to go through my private records at work, and yet he was the bad guy because he had rented Die Hard. Jehovah's Witnesses do not have a concept of privacy. That means that if a Jehovah's Witness works in an organization which has access to private records, they would have no hesitation in taking damning information that they might get from that source and bring it straight to the elders. There is plenty of evidence. Raymond Franz documents it in Search of Christian Freedom, where a lady actually gave out the medical records in the hospital she worked at to reveal that a woman had been raped and had been treated for being raped. The elders disfellowshipped her because, according to her, that she had been somewhere where she shouldn't have and something bad had happened. Absolutely disgusting. And I want to finish it because Marcus says it better than I could ever say it. My life as a Jehovah's Witness was Orwellian. I lived in constant fear that someone would see me walk into an R-rated movie, catch me playing a video game, see me talking to a girl, know that I had non-witness friends, find out that I liked rap music. Leaving that religion was the best decision I ever made. Guys, I can't thank anyone who's watched my videos enough. Most of us realised that leaving the Jehovah's Witness was the best decision we ever made. If you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this, follow it through. Do what we did. Get out now. Thanks for watching my video. Hope you have an awesome day. Hope you subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.